of the press. Good morning, everyone. First introduction. My name is Chibondo Uchebu. I'm the program lead, Better Community Life Initiative. And with me here, by my far right, is Mr. Basse Ejegene, Better Community Life Initiative, Mr. Akin Peters, a consultant with KDI, and Ebubechukwu Itulele, also our monitor in KDI. Why we brought all of you here, first we thank all of you for honoring our invitation. We actually brought you here based on what we discussed 2 weeks ago before 25th of February election, that at the expiration of February 25th election, we are going to invite you again for post-election press conference. That is the actual thing we have done this morning. And not only the post-election, even the pre-election, because we have election here in the States on Saturday. Imo State fell into the league of states with a off-cycle election, types of governorship. So on Saturday, we are going to conduct only election into the 27 seats in the House of Assembly here in the States. So with here, we proceed with our actual press conference briefing. Gentlemen of the press, the civil society here present, and members of the public, 2 days before the much awaited and highlighted anticipated February 25th presidential and National Assembly elections, we addressed the occasion of this nature with heightened hope that we are going to have a people-oriented process, at least to improve on the record of previous elections. This is predicated on our steady campaign for violence mitigation and peaceful environment for elections. First, we commend the show of patriotism, enthusiasm, and maturity of purpose displayed by our citizens during and after the elections, notwithstanding the deliberate efforts of few criminally minded individuals to undermine the process. Again, and without prejudice, we thank the security agencies for heeding to our call to reinforce personnel in areas identified as flashpoints. It really enabled eligible voters to come out en masse in anticipation to participate in the universal suffrage. These areas are Uguta LGA, Ohajebema LGA, Okigwe LGA, Ituboma LGA, Ahazimbise LGA, Oru East, Idato North, also Ngobala, Ikeduru, Onimo, and Mbitolu LGAs. Weeks and days preceding the election, while most Nigerians, first-time voters inclusive, we are expressing desire to participate in the apparently reformed electoral process to elect their leaders at various stages, a sizable number of African countries looks up to Big Brother Nigeria to set a shining electoral standard to follow. Sadly, all these hopes were shattered on the election day. The responsibility bearer here is the country's electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Never a time had the population believed in the process and the assurances of INEC since the military regime gave way to democracy in 1999, more than they did before February 25th election. 3 factors are pointed to be responsible for this: the emergence of new electoral acts, that's Electoral Act 2022, the introduction of technological devices backed by the Electoral Acts, the commitment of President Buhari to ensure a credible electoral process before he leaves office on May 29, 2023. Adding to that, the head of the electoral body, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, on 17 January 2023 at Chatham House, London, told the world that INEC is fully prepared for the elections and would meet the expectations of Nigerians, which is free and fair election, timely arrival of INEC staff, timely arrival of the election materials, including sensitive and non-sensitive materials, early commencement of voting, giving all parties equal access to election materials, electronic transmission of results at polling units immediately after they have been declared at the polling units, etc., etc. Regrettably, INEC floundered. Yes, it floundered in all measures. First, it was late arrival of INEC officials and materials in over 90% of all the units, all the polling units elections, where elections took place, using Imo State as an emphasis. Secondly, it was non-arrival of INEC officials and materials in most polling units in Olo LGA, Okigwe LGA, Oso, Uguta, Uru East, Onimo, and Ohaji local government areas. All the eligible voters in all these areas waited till 4 p.m. unattended to. When concerns were raised on the issue and the disturbing development of non-transmission of declared results at the polling units where elections were going on, the INEC National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education, Mr. Festus Okoye, released unsatisfactory, flimsy and self-indicting statement saying that the Commission has taken note of the situation, therefore has taken responsibility. On the areas elections did not take place, Mr. Okoye stressed that elections will be extended to those areas the following day, being Sunday, 26 February. It is disheartening that elections did not hold in those areas on the reappointed dates as promised by the Commission. And it is more disheartening that the Imo State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor Sylvia Ago, under whose watch these malpractices happened, allowed results to filter from those areas. We need an explanation. Let's buttress on the areas we recorded violence on the election day, that is 25th of February. 1. Polling units 37 at Ezinite Ngeri in Mbitolu LGA. The election there was marked by ballot stuffing and voter intimidation to the extent that an observer who was taking picture of the charade was thoroughly beaten by the political thugs with arms and his foot smashed on the ground. 2. In Ogbawo 2, also in Mbitolu LGA, armed thugs working for a non-political party invaded the area, intimidated the voters and took away the ballot box and papers to unknown destination. 3. In Ezama Obiro Ward 10, polling units in Nkura local government, armed thugs went there and carried ballot box away. Immediately counting of votes started. In Amusi Hall, Dinanume Ward 10, in Wangre LGA, armed thugs in the company of police personnel went there, shot guns on the air and carried the ballot box away. This abruptly stopped voting process there. We have identified the perpetrators of this violence and their cohorts as well as the political party they worked for. We are going to make their names available to the relevant authorities for prosecution. We will equally make their names available to foreign authorities for visa ban. It is not to disparage anyone. We witness the moments and we have evidence to buttress our position. Recall that in January this year, United States and European and some countries in Europe issued a warning that they would place travel or visa ban on individuals who will be involved in electoral violence in 2023 election in Nigeria. It is time to activate the warning. On Saturday, March 18th election here in the state, undoubtedly, Imo State has fallen into the league of states with all-season governorship election. For this, elections will only be conducted into the 27 seats of House of Assembly, while we call on all eligible voters across the state to come out and vote and conduct themselves peacefully in the process at the date on 25th February 2023. We make the following demands from the necessary umpires. 1. There shall be early commencement of election in all the polling units in the 27 AGS of the states. 2. The police should not deploy the same police personnel who collaborated with party agents and politicians to sabotage the electoral process on 25th of February. 3. All results declared at the polling unit must be immediately uploaded on the INEC result viewing portal. The excuse given on 25th February on why the results were unable to be uploaded is not going to be tolerated. 4. We still record cases of recruitment of thugs, gathering of arms, property destruction, physical violence, and vote buying in disidentified AGAs. Ikeduru, Okigwe, Idato North, Idato South, Ahazin Bise, Mbitolo, Ngokbala, Ezinite Mbise, Njaba, Owerri Municipal, Uguta, Oru East, Oru West, and Owerri North AGAs, Jaffa. The police and other security agencies should design tactics and expedite action to arrest the situation in those areas, and as well bring the perpetrators to book. Election time is not war time. 5. Although all the AGAs desire fortified police and army deployment for effective security, special attention should be concentrated on Nwangele AGA, Uguta AGA, Okigwe AGA, and Ohaji Ebeman AGA. We have received reliable reports that some candidates of political parties and their agents have brimmed up plans to make the Saturday's election there to do or die just to serve their own interests. This is not acceptable. In line with the 2022 Electoral Act, police authorities should detach all police personnel attached to VIPs. In the last election, in the last election, we counted cases where VIPs came to voting premises with armed police officers attached to them. This piece of occasion of some voters over others, therefore contravening the Electoral Act. The duty of police is to protect the law, not to violate it. 7. INEC should intensify the directive that prohibits voters from going to voting cubicles with smartphones for whatever reason. We record cases in the last election where voters went to the voting cubicles with smartphones and took photographs of the political parties they voted for. We do not understand the rationale behind this. All the INEC staff, including the ad hoc staff who were involved in the electoral malpractices on 25th February should be fished out, arrested, and prosecuted. And INEC must see it as a duty to regularly update members of the public whose trust and confidence were betrayed by the irregularities exhibited by their staff in the last election. The police authorities should fish out, arrest, and discipline all police personnel who were involved in the electoral malpractices on 25th February. And all the process of the disciplinary action must be made public to gain the confidence of the population. Lastly, INEC should stop issuing flimsy apologies over its inability to upload results on the portal on the 20th February 2023 because there is no height of apologies it will offer that will be able to mitigate the amount of damages it has caused to the nation. In conclusion, the conduct of 7th national elections since we returned to democracy in 1999 failed credibility standards. The manager of the 25th presidential election, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and catastrophically failed to deliver a clean ballot. The response of the aggrieved political party to use legal means to address the grievances is exemplary. All attention will now be shifted to judiciary after the conclusion of Saturday's election. It has been often asserted that courts in the country only benefits the mighty and punish the needy. This is the time for judiciary to prove the assertion wrong by dispensing justice expeditiously and renew the confidence of Nigerians in the system. We thank our partners, International Republican Institute, IRI, and Paper Development Initiative, for their relentless stance in the promoting peaceful environment and violence-free election. God bless all of you. God bless Imo State, and God bless our country, Nigeria. Thank you. My name is Chobondu Uchielu.